COVID situation,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it went very well. Today is the
Okay.
last day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Glad that.
Thanks
It
so
must be
much.
difficult to arrange everything though.
So, and where is Irakli from Georgia? Isn't still not on. 이거는 누구지? 왜 안 들어오지? 아니, 놔주세요. Hey. Hello to Georgia. Hi, Irakli, do you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hello.
No, it's not Nicholas, it's Irakli.
Iraq. Oh,
Irakli? Yeah.
what is this?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
This is my son's account, I think so.
We still have time about 3 minutes. We are waiting, yeah? But we can talk each other.
How is it? How is everyone?
I'm
Right.
fine.
Great.
So how is it going?
Competition?
Yes,
Mm,
we are very sorry that we were not able to send out some wines.
No problem. Well, we
This
had enough
corona is,
wines, and we have limited the number of samples to be entered because
Yeah.
we couldn't manage if we have too much wines. So last year we had only more than 4,300 samples. This year we have 3,200, only more than 3,200, and we have invited just 83 judges. Compared to last year we had invited 127 judges.
Okay.
And Bonny, how was the experience? Bonny is also the judge at the Asia Wine Trophy. How was your experience 4 days long?
it was great. I really enjoyed it, and everything was very perfect, I think. Yeah.
And my colleagues from Berlin, they could not come to Korea. So we have managed online every day, nearly 12 hours long online meeting. But it did work. It did work, yeah. It did work very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my colleagues in Berlin, they are very satisfied. We as well here, yeah.
I hope everything will settle for next year, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. 국장님 이제 얼굴 보이시네요. 아까보다 훨씬 스마트해지신 것 같은데. 한국장님. 한국장님 목소리 들리세요?
네,
아까보다
들립니다.
아까보다 스마트해지셨네요.
안경을 쓰느라고요. 네.
다 수락하세요.
보나 기자님, 그 목이
네.
바닥에 붙어 있어가지고
밑으로 내려보세요.
목이?
조명이 지금 너무 각도를 좀 맞춰야 될 것 같아요.
아니 반대로. Yes.
네, 이게 조명이 너무 후광이 너무 눈부셔가지고 네. 후광이 너무 눈부십니다.
Sorry, actually, this is my first time join Zoom.
I understand.
It's okay?
Yeah,
괜찮아요?
Okay.
Okay.
십자가 두 개가 하늘에 떠 있으니까 뭔가 성스러운 분위기가 연출되고.
Thank you for the comment, Mr. An.
Thank you.
이윤진 씨 접속되셨나요? The people are now entering. Eric from Boston. Hello, Eric, do you hear me?
31분이긴 해요, 지금.
네, 좀만 기다려야 될 때. We have to still wait a little bit more. 들어왔네. 이거 접수됐는데 어떻게 볼 수 있어요?
다 되는데 이분들이 안 켜네. 많이 비교가 없고. 하나가 없네.
Hello, Eric. Do you hear me? Eric van Basten from Holland is also here now.
그게 안 켰다는 건 알아요. 영상 안 보여주면 듣기만 하겠다는 거.
예. 이렇게 하면은 이거 안 보이죠, 종이?
그럼요. 여기서는
아, 괜찮습니다. 지금 저는 여기 화상 컨퍼런스 진행하고 있어요. 예, 뭐 특별히 제가 나중에 전화드릴게요. 무슨? 예. 예, 한국말 잘하죠. 양진호는 사라지고. 예, 잘합니다. 한국말, 예, 사라지고. 양진호는 지금 저기 세미나 들어가 있어요. 예, 제가 물어볼게요. 교수님. 나중에. 예, 자, 그럼 누가 통하실 거예요? 홍수경이 났습니다. 홍수경이도 잘할 거예요. 사라수경, 예, 알겠습니다. 예. So in 2 minutes we start the webinar. 김지현 씨 들어왔네요. 내 목소리 들리세요? WS 통장의 김지현 씨, 김정 과장님, 내 목소리 들려요? 여기 이거 사람들 더 들여보내는 건 참가자가 15명이죠. 그죠? So we start now. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
안녕하세요.
Hello.
노록.
Welcome to the
Kamalsova.
webinar on international wine tourism. My name is Chan Jun-bak from Korea. I'm director of Asia Wine Trophy and Asia Wine Conference. If I may introduce, The Asia Wine Trophy is the largest wine competition in Asia. It is patronized by the OIV, International Organization of Wine and Wine, based in Paris, France. During the days of the Asia Wine Trophy, we hold the Asia Wine Conference. This conference consists of masterclasses and seminars. The webinar on international wine tourism we created this year for the first time is a program of Asia Wine Conference. I sincerely welcome you to this webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. The guests of honor this year are Georgia and Moldova. We have invited 4 speakers. Parascovia Ignat from Moldova, hello.
Hello.
And Irakli Cholobargia from Georgia, hello.
Hello,
Georgia.
hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
No.
Hi,
And
everyone.
Bonny from Korea.
Hello. Nice to meet you, everyone.
And Sunte An from Korea. Hello, Sunte.
Hello.
Yeah. Due to the corona situation, the people cannot travel like they did in the past. It means we live in a situation we didn't know yet. Our freedom to travel is limited. That's quite a pity. So we decided to hold a wine tourism webinar to console the people who enjoy traveling and wines. The Caucasus countries have become more and more popular as wine tourism destinations. The highlight is without doubt Georgia. And Moldova is still not much well known as wine tourism destination, even if Moldova is a very, very attractive country. I know this exactly because I have been to there already 5 times. Anyway, these are the reasons why we decided to introduce Georgia and Moldova at our first wine tourism webinar. So I would say, Parascovia, introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, of course. My name is Parascovia, and I am head of marketing and markets development in the National Office for Bean and Wine. And today we thank you for the opportunity to join this webinar, and I will share with you a presentation, some useful information about Moldova and about our millennials traditions in winemaking. And nice to meet you, everyone.
비디오 요청을 나 했다가 내 얼굴 나왔어.
So, Irakli, would you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to see everyone here. Of course, it's a corona situation and we are not able to travel, which is very bad for wine people. So I'm the head of the marketing department of National Wine Agency of Georgia. National Wine Agency is one of the key agencies who is providing for promotion of Georgian wine worldwide on a global scale. And we are active on the markets like United States, UK, Poland, China, Japan, Germany, and Baltic states, where we provide for the yearly campaigns. And of course, we also participate in the big fairs as well. And also we don't lose any opportunity to participate in this kind of conferences like we are now. From last year, we were very keen to have the first time participation in Asian Wine Conference, and we were planning a big event also this year, but unfortunately we were not able due to Corona situation. So hopefully everything will resume from next year, and we'll meet each other personally in Georgia, in Korea, and everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So, Bonny, what are you doing?
Hello, I'm Bonny, travel writer and wine columnist. I've been to Moldova on Korean press trip in last October, and I was going to join Georgia wine press trip before coronavirus. So Georgia and Moldova are very meaningful countries for me.
And about which country do you write often about? France or Italy, Spain?
Most of Europe, and my priority is Western, Central, Eastern Europe as well.
And Seung-tae,
Yeah.
would
Oh,
you
my turn.
introduce yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, hi, my name is Seung-tae An. You can call me Casey. The Casey stands for the Korean certified. First of all, I want to say that I'm now very pleased to introduce myself as speakers and viewers all over the world. It looks like there are almost 1,000 viewers joined this webinar. Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, my given name Seung-tae is very popular with Wine Society. Every Frenchie, they are having a dinner. They shout my name, Bottle Seung-tae, like that. Yeah. Now you'll never forget my name. Yeah. I'm the leader of the Wine and Dine Society. They're called the Salon de Royal in Seoul. They're not hair salon in Gangnam. Yeah. I found the company and tasted a representative CEO specialized in wine tourism since 2007, almost 14 years. Yeah. I experienced more than 300 cities in 73 countries. That's why I was called a tour sommelier. Yeah. So it was one of Korea's best programs to travel around in Africa in 7 countries, so like that. So I'm a very specialized in tourism. Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of the director of Korean International Sommelier Association, and I belong to the several associations, the Korean Food Critics and the Korean Wine Consumers Association. And I'm just taking a role, the wine promotion ambassador in Shinsadong in Gangnam, one of the busiest commercial districts in Seoul. And I'm a member of the Moldova wine clubs as the most important role. This is why I'm now participating in this webinar. Thank you.
Oh, great. And how is the corona situation now in Georgia? Irakli, can you explain
well, we have now a little bit of increased the phase of the cases, but in the beginning we had a very least cases in the beginning, but now it's kind of building up. But overall, the cases are not more than 13,000 confirmed cases, and recovered are around more than half, maybe 8,000 people. But unfortunately, we have over 100 died because of due to corona situation. Quarantined, we have around 5,000 people. But it's not. I mean, the government decided not to lock down again, because they kind of, as they explained this, they have learned how to manage the situation. It was a different case in the beginning, because when they had the lockdown, we had small cases. If you compare, in the beginning we had about 7-8 cases per day. Now we have over 200, 300 cases per day. But the situation is calm in that regard, so they can manage the hotel, the hospital beds, and everything is in place. So there won't be any lockdown, as they say, and we have, like everywhere in the world, we have flight restrictions, but people still can come over. They have to fill up the special application form. We have a special site of Stop COVID site for Georgia, so that we have the special application where you need to apply if you want to travel. And if it's a business travel, then there are least restrictions. You can take 72 hours COVID test, so they can come with this test, and then every 3 or 4 days you'll be taking this test on the place. But still, it's not an open situation like everywhere in the world. The flights are still restricted, so people cannot travel for fun anymore right now until the situation is resumed. So that's the overall situation, yes.
Yes.
And it had really a severe blow to our tourism. We are kind of down at 80% of the tourism incomes have dropped during this year. If you compare it for the last year, we had over 12 million visitors last year. Now it's not even more. It's less than 80% now.
Wow. And how is the
it was a
situation
severe
in
blow
Moldova?
to the wine tourism, of course. It was a really severe blow to them as well.
Yeah. Parascovia, how is the situation in Moldova? When I wrote this book, this is my book. It's recently released. This is my book on wine of Moldova. When I wrote this book in this summer, I was informed every day how many new cases Moldova has. Yeah, but I was very sad. The situation is not so good. Would you explain a little bit more?
It's a sad situation. We have the diseases are increasing, and we have more than 1,000 diseases per day. It's a huge number. It's not the same as in Georgia, but it's the same situation with tourism. Speaking in generally, if we are talking. About business trip is the same. You should have a COVID test available for 48 hours only, not for 72 or more. And but we are in the red area, and unfortunately we can't travel. We can't host foreign tourists, and I don't know when the situation will change into good.
Yeah.
It's a pity.
Last year, I could join the National Wine Day in Moldova. It is the first weekend in October. Is it right?
Yeah. First weekend
Today,
October, we celebrate the biggest event for our country. It's National Wine Day, for 19 years we gain a lot of tourists, more than 100,000. This year, unfortunately, we celebrated it online with media. We organized some online degustation with international wine journalists, and that's all.
When is that day, Parascovia? When is this?
First weekend of October.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really want to travel to Moldova. I was planning to do it this year, but unfortunately,
we are waiting you for
I've never been there.
for the next one. Yeah.
And Bonny,
Yes.
how's the corona situation in Korea?
South Korea successfully managed the coronavirus, I think, and the government covers the cost of entire test. And if you test positive, they will take financial responsibility for treatment and care, even all foreigners. So I think South Korea is one of the most safe country now.
Yeah. And Irakli, Georgia, the candle of wine, the homeland of the wine. Yeah. Why should people come to Georgia? Is Georgia so attractive as a wine tourism destination?
Yes, there are a lot of things why people should travel to Georgia, because, well, I will place it as, generally speaking, in terms of wine, we have three kind of, let's say, elements, which is very interesting for the wine lover society in the world. The first is the diverse grape varieties, of diversity of grape varieties, which is still unknown for the world, and it's very interesting for the wine lovers who like to taste new tastes and new wines. The second is the history itself, that well, the Homeland of Wine, that's the first, but for me the most important thing is that this the process of winemaking was uninterrupted. It never stopped. So that's the kind of a cultural heritage we have and which is still continuing. And the third is the new category to the world, which is amber wine, so-called. Some of them call it orange wine, which is historically is made in Kvevri. The Kvevri, you know, this it's an egg-shaped clay vessel, which is a perfect vessel for making wines with the skin contact and with the maceration. And this also, historically, this process was never stopped. So even today is the booming of the Kvevri wines today, and it started from the Kvevri wine commercialization started about 10 years, 12 years ago in Georgia, where the people decided to, label their wines, bottle their wines, and come to the market. So that's how it became known to the world, like 10 or 12 years ago. So these are, three basic things in terms of wine, which is interesting for the consumer and for the wine lover. The next is also the hospitality and diverse. The term of people as well. People are important in this business, if we want to call it a business, where we have to build the relationships with the people when we come. So it's very important aspect as well in terms of tourism. At the same time, there's also a very diverse food culture.
Food culture.
The food culture, and the food also differs from region to region, and it's very diverse. For example, in the western part of Georgia, you have another type of food, and in the eastern part, it's mostly meat-driven and with a fat-driven food as well. And also the wines also match this food as well in terms of region. So, for example, in Kakheti, where they make this very heavy amber orange wines with the long maceration of 6 months with the stems, the wines are with a very high tannic structure. And the food as well is the same. It's a very heavy food with fat, and so this wine is kind of balancing out the food. In western part of Georgia, the food is in a lighter terms. Maybe they have a very rich herbal menu, let's say so, with lots of walnuts and chicken and the fish, and which the food is the lighter there, and the wines as well with the high acidity, like lively acidity, and the wines are not too complex than in Kakheti in eastern part. So it's very, very diverse. Basically now, in terms of figures, we have two dominant grape varieties, Katsiteli and Saperavi, which make up to about 90% of total harvest of Georgia. Katsiteli is a white variety, and it's also a very good variety to make amber wines. And Saperavis are kind of a flagship red variety, which is also one of the dominant grape varieties, and they both come from Kakheti region. But totally now, all the rest, 10% is about 25 grape varieties as well, which in recent 10, 12 years have come to into the commerce, into the market. So, and it's also very diverse as well. And almost all these varieties are very good to make the amber wines from. It depends on the winemaker what we want to get from the wine, but it has a very endless possibilities to make wine and the wine styles, and it's very rich, let's say so. And yes, and in terms of export markets, our main export market is still Russia in terms of volumes. 60% of all our exports are going to Russia, mainly semi-sweet red wines. But our key objective is to diversify the markets. So as you know, we had embargo from Russia in 2006, and in pre-embargo period we had almost total dependence on the Russian market. It was like 95% of all our exports was going to Russia. And
it was same in Moldova as well, 2006, yeah.
Yes.
And Moldova had also 2013.
No,
embargo,
2006.
2016 and
same year.
2013.
Yeah, and
We
I
changed it.
mean, and then they released this embargo in 2013.
Yeah.
So now we can sell from 2013, but our goal was to have a less dependence, and we kind of managed to shrink their share up from 95 to 60% because other markets are also increasing. Like, for example, now we sell in more than 45 countries in export. So, but still in volume-wise, Russia is the biggest in volume. But we also sell in the markets like UK, United States, Germany, etc., etc. China is our second biggest market as well. But also during Corona time, it was very strange to see the decline on these two markets, in Russia and China. Totally, we had a decline of about, in the beginning, of about 25% in exports. But now we caught up. But the bad thing is that the forecast is that we won't have any growth this year. But at the same time, it's kind of good that we didn't have a big decline. So it will be the same amount of export that we had last year. So this is our forecast for this year. But our main aim, as I said, is to have at least dependence on the Russian market, because I mean, as a market, if you look at the Russian market, commercially is a very acceptable market, and it's really easy to sell the wines there because we have the high awareness as a country, and they know Georgia, etc. But the main risk is the political instability. So it's a very, very high risk for us. I mean, and it will be a very heavy blow for the companies if something else happens, which is unpredicted. You'll never know what will come in Russian government's mind. So that's why we are kind of keeping up with the other markets as well. So we are having before Corona, we were having 3 marketing communication channels. Well, first one was the wine fairs, participation in the wine fairs, and having some side events there at the fairs, like ProWine Düsseldorf and some of the big fairs in ProWine Shanghai. Also, we've been doing the Chengdu as well in China, etc. The other one was the press trip, not the press trips, and press and trade trips as well from our strategic countries. Like we had already planned to visit from South Korea with you, Changjun, but unfortunately we couldn't do it this year. It was our first time to include Korea in our kind of strategic markets, like priority markets. So we'd like to really build up the market there. So I think it will be from next year. So, and the third one is we hold educational and tasting seminars on all these markets on the place. And we have our marketing consultants are mainly masters of wine, who are also our brand ambassadors. We are working with 3 of them now in Japan. It's Kenichi, Ohashi, and we doing the campaigns with them in Japan. In the UK, it's Sarah Abbott. She's also master of wine, and we are doing the wine marketing campaign in the UK with the help of her, and Deborah Mayberg in China, etc., and with Lisa Granick in the United States. And it's really a full-blown heavy campaign. But Corona also impacted this campaign as well, because we managed to adapt on the virtual reality this year, which is what really hard for us, because it was new thing for us to hold these seminars and tastings on the online. So, but next year we'll be more prepared. We are planning to make a virtual pavilion for Georgian wine. So it will be kind of a setup, an online setup, where the wineries will be able to meet with the buyers and with the press. So it will be all through the year. It will be kind of an open platform, and we'll be announcing dates by the market before. So when the wineries will be able to meet with the trade people and with the media as well. And we will be also financing, sending samples in this market, so that the other side also can taste the wine. So, but we will leave that platform anyway, even in case everything opens up. But because now this online platform is really becoming very intensive now, and it's in some cases it's really effective, because you have less costs, and so and it's manageable. But as you all agree, for wine business, it's very important to to travel and to visit the places, to meet the people, and to kind of get the feel and spirit of the country itself. So this is basically what I could say about very briefly about Georgian wine and Georgian wine tourism. And yes, if you have some questions, then we can develop that.
Irakli, I'm a big fan of orange wines that you call in Georgia.
I hear that
Ember
Korea is
wine.
very it's very becoming very popular in Korea. So it's our kind of a very key interest in developing this market in your country.
Yeah, I think
so. I mean, for me, I don't. Yeah, I mean, some of them in the color is really orange color because we can't say it's only amber color. Some of the wines are really very, very orange color. Depends on the intensity of the wine. So, but basically we call it amber wine. But
and I have realized that it's not easy to learn about Georgian wines because of so many grape varieties, like in Italy. Yeah. Even though Saperavi and Castelli are dominant, you have so many grape varieties, in particular.
Yes, but unfortunately, because of Soviet past, I mean, the other grapes. In our grape library, we have over 500 grape varieties.
Wow!
And we restored we have a special vineyard where we restored the 437 grape varieties. But in the commerce now, it's kind of, it takes time to put these grapes back to the life. So wineries are kind of trying now to introduce the new varieties as well, because it's also a point of differentiation. It's competitive edge as well. When you have a new variety, it's not Cazzitelli, but it's a new one. It's easy to sell as well at the same time. So right now we have around 25, as I said, 25 other varieties which we never heard of during Soviet times. So it's really developing. But as you know, it takes time to build the vineyard, and you know it's a long process. But it's good to see that all these grapes are coming back now to life.
Yeah,
and we can actually try these wines.
I know you have prepared the PowerPoint file and some videos. Can you play one or two videos you sent to us? Then because the people will be very interesting in videos on Georgian wine tourism.
How many minutes we have?
You have time about 10 minutes.
Okay, so there's we have a link on YouTube, and how can we technically? Let me.
You can share the screen, I guess.
If you play, oh, Eddie, I can see you. No. Hello. Sorry.
Bless you.
And
how
how do I share the screen? Wow.
While you're waiting, I'll talk with Parascovia from Moldova. Yeah, can you explain why the people should come to Moldova?
Yeah, but if you let me, I prepared the presentation.
Yeah.
And I would like to share with you and to explain in parallel why you should come. And I will share the screen. Here. Are you
find this?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Parascovia. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to introduce the institution I work for, and I want to say that the National Office for Wine and Wine is the main body that manages the Moldovan wine sector, and it is organized through the public-private partnership and was created in 2013 and was created with government support after sector reforms in response to various external and internal industry challenges. We have a fund which we manage, and we also have a coordination council. It is made by by 13 members. 10 of members are from the private sector, and 3 of them are from the government. The ONIVV scope is to develop and implement state policies in the wine sector, including wine and grape growing and promotion of quality wines under the national wine country brand, Wine of Moldova, a legend alive. Also, we manage the production of Pgi and PDO wines and provide technical assistance and consulted to the Moldovan wine industry. In the short period of time since its foundation, the ONIVV has established itself as the leading source of expertise in Moldova wine sector. It has contributed to legal and regulatory reform and several as a united platform for the reputation and the marketability of Moldovan wine. Most of our tourists ask, where is the Republic of Moldova? The Republic of Moldova is on and the central of Europe. It's a real crossroad between east and west, and we are on the same altitude as the central part, France. I mean, between altitude 46 and 48 degrees. If speaking about general facts, we are number 6 in Europe by wind surface. We have 128,000 hectares of vines, over 30 grape varieties. Our annual wine production is 1.5 million hectoliters. Most 85% of wine we export, and it's around 67 million of bottles we exported annually. 15% of active population are involved in the wine production, and 330 millions of US dollars investments in wine industry over the last decades. We have a long history of winemaking. If you see here, it's all the periods. The first traces of grape vines in the lands have been dated back to around 7000 BC. Viticulture and art of wine have been a traditional occupation for Moldovans. According to recent archaeological data, the vineyards become an agriculture culture for Neolithic era in the Cucuteni-Tripolea culture. Also, we have also a modern history. Our vision statement says our wines have been crafted by generation of winemakers in the largest cellars in the world, appreciated by consumers in both East and West, and supported by legends that everyone can embrace. And we hope and believe that Moldova's wine can continue to win new friends all over the world. We also have 3 Pgi regions, which are situated. The biggest one is situated in the center of Moldova. It's we name it Codru region. It is the biggest one, and here we have 57,000 of hectares vineyards. The second one is Valul lui Traian, which is situated in the south of Moldova, and the third one is Ștefan Vodă in the southeast. By vine surface, we have 3% of the territory of the country, 7% agriculture surfaces, 3rd place in the Black Sea Basin, and 9th wine producer in the world. Our production potential, it's 600,000 tons annual harvest, 1.5 million hectoliters, as I told you, it's our media annual production. We have more than 200 wineries, and 30 of them are provided wine tourism services. We have also 30 grape varieties. We have white, also red grape varieties. And you were talking about white grape varieties. There are Aligoté, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Muscato Tonel, Pinot Gris, and our indigenous varieties, Feteasca Albe and Feteasca Regale. If we are speaking about red grape varieties, we have Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir, Saperavi, Rara Negra, and Feteasca Negra. It's our indigenous varieties. Here we have our indigenous grape varieties. So we have 1,000 hectares of vineyards. Also, we have new selection varieties, which are Viorica, Legenda, Kodrinsky, Alp de Unitscani. New selection varieties are resistant to frost, drought, botrytis, oidium, and we think that they have a huge potential. Here, if we are talking about the export, last year we have a total growth in volume. We grew plus 9%, and in value 9.2%. But this year, due to coronavirus situation, we have a decline of 9%. It's not so huge, but it's not such a good situation. Here I have some pictures from Valul lui Traian to show you the landscapes. Here's the south part of Moldova, Pelicans. It's Pgi Regions, Codru. It's greeny. It's interesting. We have a biodiversity here. In winter, the regions. The famous underground cellars. Here is Mileshti Mich. Also, I've shown you Stefan Voda.
Parascovia. Can you explain a little bit more about Mileshti? Because I think this will be very interesting for the participants. Mileshti Mich has a Guinness record.
Yeah, it has a Guinness World Record. It is the longest and the biggest underground cellar. There, cellar, and there are 1 million of bottles there in the underground, and you can drive by cars and to see all the collection. And also we have Krikova. The other underground cellar. There we organize a lot of cultural events as festival, wine runs, underground festivals, and and we host lots of foreign tourists. Okay, and you were talking about wine tourism key figures. Wine tourism generates 7 million euros per year. Last year we host around 200,000 of tourists. We have 30 wineries which provide wine tourism, 5 agencies specialized in wine tourism, and also, we have a Moldovan wine route. It's the first touristic Moldovan route registered by the Council of Europe in the network Iter Vitis, Le Chemin de la Vigne, awarded in the category Sustainable Cultural Tourist Destination in 2020, within the contest organized by the European Culture Tourism Networking. We have this kits or tools, maps, brochures, eno-touristic guides, which we disseminated them we put them digitally, and In classic format, we spread them at the biggest exhibition as per wine, as Beat Milano, Berlin exhibition, and also. As I told you, we have a full calendar of concerts, festival, races, wine run, and even a marathon. Every year, 1,000 of Moldovans and foreign tourists participates in these events. So why not to join them? In the autumn, as I told, the first weekend of October, we celebrate the biggest holiday for our country. It's the National Wine Day, dedicated to the millennial traditions and winemaking that reached the 19th editions a few weeks ago. National Wine Day is we have a lot of tourists, more than 100,000 each year visited Moldova. It's the only one holiday wine day in the world and the biggest wine fest in Eastern Europe. It has an eco-friendly concept, and I will share with you a video. Oh, sorry. Okay. And also I will share another movie, but we have also a channel on YouTube, Wine of Moldova, and you will see more videos. But this one I will share with you. Oh, something.
This is really very nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you, and we welcome you to the National Wine Fest next year.
Parascovia.
First and 2nd of October.
Yeah.
Be our guest.
When I attended the National Wine Day last year, it was amazing. I was really very impressed. And I have seen on the video Chateau Bartelli, Asconi, Pulcari, and Krikova, Milestimici, Castelmimi. What is your favorite? I love Krikova, I love Milestimici, and I love Castelmimi. Castelmimi is one of the 15, one of the most beautiful chateaus, 15 chateaus in the world. Is it right?
Yeah, it's right, and it is very beautiful, and it's amazing, and it has a big interest for foreign tourists, and it has they make a lot of events due to only even if we have such restrictions, but we are organizing events on Castel Mimi in compliance with the safety measures. They are doing wine and food pairing, and they are doing some festivals, Rosé Wine Day, and many others, the same as Chateau Bartelli, Asconi, etc. Purcari. They are beautiful and amazing, and you can travel. And they are safe, and you can you should visit them and convince by yourself that they are spectacular.
Mm. For me, my favorites are Klikova, Milestimic, Castelmimi, Chateau Purcari, and Asconi, Chateau Bartelli.
And yeah, there are a lot of small producers that are launching now, and they are also should be visited, and they are beautiful and interesting.
And
You
except
deserve
Divin,
to go and to visit them, yeah.
Except Divin, you have 3 Pgi wine regions: Codru, Valerie Traian, and Stepan Boda. Which wine region is the most beautiful wine region from you?
I like all of them. It is difficult to me to say that I like one or more, but they are. I can't say that I have. But I don't know if I'll be in your place. I should make a choose of 3 wineries, so that I will visit all, because Moldova is a small country in the shape of grape, and in a few hours you will travel it from the north to south. That's and I will choose one winery, for example, Asconi from the Codru Pgi, and to see the diversity, the nearest, and then I will go to Castel Mimi, which is near, and also in Karagani and Purcari, which is in the south and southeast of Moldova, because they are different. One is it's traditional, one winery it's modern, and you will see different, and you will have different experiences.
Thank you very much. And now, Irakli, can you show?
I'm struggling with the.
No problem.
I don't know how to share this. Hold on, because I can't see. If I, Chanchun, if I send you the link, can you play from your side the video? Because I can't find the sharing of the.
No, I can't hear. There is a problem now.
I can't find how to share the videos here. So
moment, I need a little bit time. And at the time, so Bonny. So I will do that for Irakli. So I need a little bit time. So Bonny.
Share screen. Okay.
Now,
yeah, I found.
Can you explain why do you recommend visiting Georgia and Moldova? You have been to already Moldova, but not to Georgia.
Yes.
And what would you suggest to the Korean or wine preference from other countries and wine lovers?
Okay, 10 minutes will be okay, Chanjun?
Yes.
Okay. Travel industry forecast that Central Eastern Europe will be preferred travel destination after the coronavirus pandemic. It is due to low infection, friendly atmosphere to tourists, not too much touristic, and low travel expense. And even traveler who doesn't know much about wine are interested in wine tour. Due to winery has fabulous architecture, fantastic vineyard, and fine dining. With regard to Moldova, as just Parascovia said, they have a national wine day in October. How many countries have a national holiday dedicated just wine? It's very rare, unique, and very attractive. I highly suggest that travelers visit Moldova during National Wine Day in the near future. In their capital, Chisinau, best winemakers welcome guests with dancing, socializing, and sharing national dishes. And it is the best season to visit wineries as well, because during National Wine Day, many of wineries open their doors to large numbers of guests. Usually there is organized transportation, food, music, tasting, and other interesting activities. Some wineries have accommodation as well. Is interesting point, such as Asconi, Castelmimi, Chateau Bartley, Bukhari, etc., and so on. If you visit wineries, boutique hotel, or guest house, it will be a special experience. And with regard to Georgia, it has got a lot of attention of past few years in Korea. Many travelers, photographers, and press have visited Caucasus three countries. Especially, Georgia has proudly claimed the title of birthplace of wine. As we know, archaeological findings have shown that wine was produced in Georgia as far back as 8,000 years ago. So Georgia is considered to be cradle of winemaking, as Chanjan said just before. Truly, wine is the basis of the Georgian culture and life. Since ancient times, Georgians has enjoyed making daily wine in their house. And they have a great hospitality culture that loves to share their homemade food and wine with guests. Interestingly, there is a traditional Georgian culture about tamada. As just Mr. An said, tamada means the person who proposed to toast. He will speak out "Gaumajus, Gaumajus, Gaumajus," which means cheers, cheers, cheers. Then all guests drink bottoms up, and they continue this changed by the other guests. Travelers and locals enjoy this and become close very easily. So I hope more travelers visit Moldova and Georgia in the near future. And in many of wine growing regions, wine associations and tourism boards make wine activities to attract tourists, such as music concert in Chateau, vineyard trail, farm stay, picking grapes, cooking class, and so on. Georgia and Moldova has this kind of activities a lot. And in last January, I've written an article about must visit wine region in 2020 at daily newspaper, and it included Moldova and Georgia. I continue to share this view still. So I hope more people visit Georgia and Moldova in the near future. That's all.
Thank you, Bonnie. And now Irakli, you know how it doesn't work.
I'll try now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
한번 틀어줄래요? If you can't, we can play the video here for you. We have it.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
So
Finally.
yeah, this is this research project which we launched 2-3 years ago, and it was a team of international researchers and archaeologists, polybotanists, and well, and they found some other new artifacts about Georgian artifacts which were confirming that the wine has started on this territory then, and they dated 6,000 BC, which is 8,000 years. And they made a pure check of this in Pennsylvania University, and there is also a research paper on that finding. So it was kind of a approval of the international team from all over the world that the first wine was made here in this time.
A wonderful idea that the Georgian government had to put this project together, because it really is multinational. You know, a lot of different specialists, DNA, botany, archaeology, and really gives a full picture of Georgian wine, going right back to the Neolithic period, continuing up to the present. The idea of looking at pottery is that the wine or the liquid gets absorbed into the pottery. So you have the pores of the pottery that absorb liquid. And what we will see in the laboratory is we take out the ancient organics by using solvents like methanol, chloroform, and getting them out of the ancient pottery. And then after we've got a solid material of the ancient organics, we do analyses of that using all different kinds of techniques. So like liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, and so forth. When it comes to the early bronzes of Korax, it does seem to be an integral part of their culture. The number of small drinking cups that there are, the fact that we're finding wine in graves found buried with the body suggests that it has an important symbol, something that they want to take with them into the afterlife, or part of the celebrations that happen with the funerals. Sagrado plan de esta del cristiano, como cristiano, que los es un grado de sus más sacerdotes this was a context share that Aris sacerdotes and done additional one and another call there for this. Georgia is the crossing point between people migrating from east to west, from north to south, like from Siberia to Persia, and from the Roman Empire to China, and multiple senses, of course. And so the Georgia was in the middle of this traffic, and the converted most resources there, and they become also sort of difficult. So there also became the main concentration of certification. So we are working here. We are very interested in the situation in the south of Paris because it's considered as a place where grape was first domesticated and where wine production in viticulture started. I think that really Georgia is one of the places where the grapes were domesticated. For me, domestication really means the birth of grape cultivation and winemaking. Really produce that great established family of Georgia. We analyze the data in order to provide information about climate and meteorological data, focus on winemaking and grape growing. The most interesting part is that from our analysis, we get the idea that Georgia is very similar to very important national areas of France and Italy. So the education and the resources you have while you grow grape are exactly the same. So there is really no limitation in the production of grape. Since 8,000 years ago, by the analysis we made, the climate was always suitable for grape growing.
It's very nice video. And the landscape in Georgia is amazing. Irakli.
Yes, yeah.
Can you which wine region do you recommend to visit if we come to Georgia? Which wine is the most beautiful?
We have the key wine region is Kakheti, the eastern part of Georgia. In Kakheti we have 16 PDOs. It's in totally we have in Georgia 21 PDOs and 16 is in Kakheti. So and touristically, Kakheti is having one of the biggest wine tourism infrastructure as well. And there are a lot of small and medium-sized wineries who offer the guests the hospitality, the cooking classes, and also the immersion in the culture of wine. So, and mostly also in the western part as well, there are many small wineries as well who also have the hospitality infrastructure as well in their places, and you visit the places, and most of their small maranis, and the actual winemaker will meet you there, and it's a very, very unique. How to say? It's a very unique opportunity to talk with the winemaker, how he makes wines, and he will invite you on the what we call supra culture. Supra is a table, what we call it in a feast in Georgian. So
I guess they mostly have Kvevri.
of course, yes,
Kvevri.
yes. But Kvevri is one of the biggest item for the wine lovers to see, because when a wine lover comes to Georgia, he wants to immerse into the cultural stuff mostly. So as long Kvevri is becoming very popular now, and is very popular, so mostly the wine lovers and the tourists are visiting the small maranis, where they have mostly a personal touch, rather than in the big wineries. Of course, the big wineries also are very interesting, but in the experience of getting the feel and spirit of the culture of wine of Georgia is basically in the small maranis, where you get to meet with the winemaker personally. So, but totally, I mean, in terms of figures, Kakheti, as I said, is one of the biggest, and it has most developed tourism infrastructure talking about whole Georgia. Of course, in the western part as well, you see some other wineries as well who offer this same kind of services. But basically, Kakheti, as I said, almost 90% of total vintage, which is about 270,000 tons of grapes, which makes up to 200 million liters from year to year of wine. So most of the wine is coming from Kakheti region. So totally we have 55,000 hectares, and almost 80% is in Kakheti. So Kakheti is very diverse in that regard, and in terms of grapes as well. Apart from, besides Katsiteli and Saperavi, you'll find varieties like Kisi, Chichwi, Jria for the red, Budeshuri, etc. And they are very intense. If it's made in the Ember style and Kvevri style, they are very intense and very complex wines. Whereas in the western part, and in Kartli as well, for example, in Kartli we have 3 basic varieties: Chinuri, Gorulim Tsoane, and Shavkapito and Tavqueri for the reds, which are also very interesting grape varieties. And there are a lot of also small wineries, like, for example, you might have heard about Iago's wine, which is a kind of a top small winemaker who is also selling in the Michelin star restaurants in the UK, in Italy, in France, in the United States as well. It's very popular. He was one of the key person to start the whole movement of so-called natural wine. At the same time, there's a lot of other winemakers as well, and they formed the Natural Wine Association, by the way, and they already have 90 small wineries in there, which is a big number. Totally, we have more than 1,000 wineries registered, and more than around 300 wineries are exporting.
Wow.
So yeah, and last year we had export of over 90 million bottles, with the revenue of $237 million, as I remember. Well, on the average price point of export, Georgian wine is costing $3.19 per liter, which is not in the cheapest segment, but it's like it makes us in one of the top 5 or top 6 in terms of export price. So, well, at the same time, if we speak it in terms of tourism, summertime is very good to come over if you want to have a chance to go to the seaside as well, to the mountains as well. Like in Moldova, we also have special wine days, but it's not a national wine day. So we have very popular festivals in May.
In May.
One of them, there are 2 big festivals. One is the Tbilisi New Wine Festival, where the people get to try to the new vintages of the wineries. So this year we would have tasted 2020 wines, but unfortunately we're not able to do that. And the other natural wine festival, it's kind of an international fair. We also get some other countries' wines as well. It's called Zero Compromise because it's a natural wine fair. So these guys are kind of an extreme, and they call themselves zero low intervention wines, where basically they could use only sulfur in their wines, and it's also very limited use for that. So otherwise, they don't interfere in the winemaking process. And this movement here in Georgia as well, and like anywhere in the world, is becoming very, very popular. So these are two big events what we have in terms of wine, and both of them are held in May. And also we try to arrange every year. We have several festivals during harvest time in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is the capital of Kakheti. It's one of the key cities in terms of wine as well, and we have some festivals in late September, beginning of October. But unfortunately, everything was cancelled this year. So whenever everything is opened up, and I hope to see you everyone here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irakli.
Yeah, and if we can, Chanju, can you play this small
Yes,
video?
yes.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for my
No, it's no problem.
least knowledge in technology, but I'm keeping up.
So we have
Yeah, it's a small video about Georgia.
Oh, beautiful.
nice.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, Santa now.
Yeah, okay. It's my turn.
You want to organize a winery tour in Georgia and Moldova, even though you have been there. Yeah.
Okay.
What will be merits and problems of such tours for Koreans or other Asian people?
Okay, yes. Let me start with Georgia. As a tour sommelier and expert, when thinking about the contents of a trip to Georgia, the world-famous natural spring mineral waters brand in Georgia, Borzomi. Yeah, I know that. If you are guest viewers are curious about the taste of water that the Russian emperor drank, you should go to Georgia. Yeah, Georgia was a country known as one of the beautiful Catholic pilgrimage courses in Korea. But Moldova had a little interaction until Moldovan wine was imported. Some people were confused with Maldives and Malta or something like that. Yeah. I heard that Moldova is the only country in the world that celebrates Wine Day as a holiday. It's super. As a tour summary and expert, and at the point of view, it was largely summarized into 3 keywords after Corona days. It's nature and experience and privacy. This is because those who enjoy the wine lifestyle, they love healing, wellness, and relaxation, and want a healthy life and special experience. Okay, 3 keywords. First, the nature, the natural scenery. The which seems to be a tourist destination for everybody, not just old people. Rather than going to see the Eiffel Tower, walking along the river, or going directly to the Louvre, enjoying a picnic by the lake in the park. The Eiffel Tower and the Louvre Museum, where people are endlessly crowded, have become something that can be satisfied with online viewing. Enjoying peaceful nature, not crowded places or cities, is becoming the center of a new paradigm for traveling. Both Georgia and Moldova have a perfect natural environment to relieve stress. That's why when I plan a wine tour course to a European city, always study in the course that spend time on the lake or riverside and popping champagne and wine. The second keyword is the experience. People have come to realize the value of the experience, unique and special in the days. In nowadays, even daily life you enjoyed has become special. Moldova and Georgia are the most mysterious of the countries that can give people a sensational and special experience of wine. And my last keyword is privacy. These days, we have come to feel the value of individual travel, even if we pay more, safe and stress-free. It seems that the time has come when wine tours and gourmet tours can become mainstream. Yeah. Both Georgia and Moldova are made up of small towns, and wineries are the places that invite us into nature. Perfect environments for traveling as a small group or individual traveler. In this trip with personal privacy, that's perfect for me without hassle. And now if I'm making a wine tour program for Moldova and Georgia, here are a few things to check. The first, the visa. Visa is no problem. Georgia and Moldova applies in both overseas travel, 19-day visa waiver program for Korean travelers. And the second, this is the most important part, is the cost. Cost is no problem. Moldova is a country where tourist prices feel super cheap, even in Europe. In Georgia, travelers experience prices at half the level of South Korea. Then how about wine experience? It's fantastic. We know Georgia said to be an original wine, also the hometown of natural wine and the birthplace of Ember Wine. The Qibabri is a weird one. The Qibabri, very unique winemaking method, listed as a UNESCO heritage site. The Butsmane, Castari, Kisi, the white grape varieties that represent Georgia wine, and Saperabi, or red grape variety, is also interesting. In case of Moldova, I accidentally made a white wine called Carpe Diem at Sommelier Dotejang's dinner. Local varieties of wine are always interesting, but Carpe Diem was more than expected, and Moldova final came to me. The National Wine Day event is the largest wine festival in Eastern Europe and attracts about 100,000 people and visitors. And Moldova has the longest wine cellar in the world, listed in the Guinness Book of Records. The Krikova and Milestimic winery cellars hold a 10-kilometer short marathon every year. And Castellini, one of the top 15 most beautiful wineries in the world, offering a spa, outdoor swimming, and lodging also. This is perfect for the wine tourism. And perhaps the Chateau Bartelli, the most beautiful tasting room in Moldova.
No. I would say the most beautiful tasting rooms are in Krikova. And after that, Chateau Bartelli. But you can have another opinion.
Let me give a chance to Chateau Bartelli. All these practices stimulate wine lovers' desire to visit. Yeah. And there is some problems also in this. Yeah. The road to Moldova and Georgia looks perfect for wine travelers, but the only tricky condition is the air route. Because there are no direct flights, you have to choose which city to go through. The Berlin, Moscow, Milan, Rome, Dubai, and etc. According to the wellness and gourmet wine travel style, I would choose Berlin and Milan is the best choice. The restaurants with special experience and cities where you can experience a new wine culture. Yeah, and finally, I'm going to end the time by quoting my phrase from a book published yesterday, The Moldovan Wine, written by CEO Park Sang-jun. There's one of my pages in the page. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Like the stars in the sky, countless wines showed me a lot of light. Moldovan wines grown in healthy black Chernozem terroir, the emperor of the soil, seem to have a brighter and healthier life. As wine resembles its nature, I want to resemble Moldovan wine while drinking. Thanks for listening to the small comments.
Well, great. Sinte is really ambassador for Moldovan wines because he loves Moldovan wines, he recommends many Moldovan wines. I hope that he becomes also love of Georgian wines. I love Georgian Ember wines. Yeah. Does someone have any questions? Eric, do you have any question? Oh, I can't. No? 한국장님,
네.
한 말씀 하시겠어요? 영어로?
Yeah. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to participate in this meaningful conference. And I know now the experience to taste the Georgian wine, Carpe Diem, and ice wine from Moldova. But it is very important for me, consumer. It is very important to know the two countries. It is not easy to get inside the wine from two countries, but steadily, because of the work of this Chanjun Bag and another company, colleague, it is a good opportunity to know better here in Korea. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, some other one? Bonny, I have a question to you. Last year, you went to the National Wine Day in Moldova.
Yes.
We flied via Istanbul. How was the trip? We don't have any direct flight to Moldova. We don't have any direct flight to Georgia. So therefore, Sinte recommended to combine a tour with maybe Berlin, Milano, like this. And how was your experience, the flight via Istanbul?
Via Istanbul, it was great. It was Turkish Airlines, and they give a kind of city tour free of charge, and it was so great. So if someone make a tour to Moldova, I highly recommend the way to via Istanbul with Turkish Airlines, because they give another chance to travel to other cities.
Okay.
And now I have a question to Irakli. So you talked about natural wine. What is the trend in terms of wine production in Georgia? In Korea, for example, or in other Asian countries or European countries, the wine consumers, they are drinking more and more natural wines. It is so that the wine producers from Georgia produce more natural wines like in the past?
I mean, when we say natural wine, I mean, in the whole world, people are still looking for the definition, what is natural wine, and it's kind of a point of the argument. But what they call themselves is that they say that they don't intervene into the winemaking process a lot. So which means that it's the wild fermentation, no yeast, no enzymes used. And the only thing, as I said, it's the using of the sulfur to stabilize the wines in the end. But there are some of the winemakers who do not use even sulfur. So these wines are really wild, but it's really high risk. But it was during the last maybe 10 years when this natural wine boom was starting on a global scale. And all the wineries here, as we said, that in Georgia, almost everyone is making their own wine for their own consumption and to share it with the friends and stuff, making in creveries, and all these guys they started to commercialize their own wines. So that's how they and their idea and vision is to make the wines what they like to share. So they're making wines which are not market driven or the consumer driven. They show the wines and offer the wines which they like to make and which they like to drink, and that's why they are sharing it to the consumer. So, and the basic markets of natural wine, what we call it, is for us, I mean, for the Georgian wine, is Italy, France, Japan, and United States. In the UK, it's kind of struggling, but they still sell in the UK as well. But in maybe in a Ritz hotel or in a big places. But it's not as popular as, for example, as it is in Japan or in United States, or even in Italy. As for increase in their production, I mean. The maximum what they can produce in this way, in making in creverie in a natural way. The biggest winery in these terms we have is maybe Pheasant Steers, who produce about maybe 60,000 bottles a year. That's the maximum. And they have 10 types of wine, even more than 10. So it's like, it will be like maybe 3,000-4,000 bottles per wine per year. There, for example, Iago, as I was saying, he only works with one variety, Chinuri, and he's owning his own vineyards, like around 2 hectares, and he makes only 4,000-5,000 liters per year, and that's it. And he doesn't want to expand. He doesn't want to, expand in the vineyards or in the number of the bottles of wine, because he says that he won't be able to maintain the growth. So maybe he expands up to 10,000 liters, 12,000 liters, that's it. But these people are not inclined into the growing of their production because, as I said, they won't have enough resources of keeping that the pace up. So that's why they are kind of keeping themselves small. But the thing is that there are new wineries emerging in this area. So, for example, in 2012, we had about maybe 10 small wineries, and now they are more than 100 now, even more. So, and they are kind of, and regionally speaking, they also work with the grape variety which is indigenous to the region. For example, in Guria, there are several wineries, and they are working with the grape variety called Chaveri, which is a Gurian indigenous variety. If it's in Kakheti, they just revitalize the old Kakhetian indigenous grapes, and they work with them, and etc., etc. So in terms of growing volumes, no, but the growing of importance and the attraction of this movement, it's really growing. So, and that's, and in our marketings as well, we use these people as a locomotive, as a key drivers of the building the brand Georgian wine.
Great. And my last question, it goes to Parascovia in Moldova. Why should the people drink Moldovan wines?
Oh, because it's a good wine.
Yeah.
Because it is from it's a blend from our indigenous and international grape varieties, and it is drinkable. It is fresh. It is amazing, and I like the wine, and I recommend Moldovan wine to all the consumers, and I guess it is a good wine, and it is show the result that we are exporting in 70 countries, and Moldovan wine are on the table of millions of wine lovers. That's why I recommend strongly Moldovan wine, and come in Moldova to taste the wine and the food, and we will show you the hospitality and the diversity and our winemaking process, of course.
In terms of wine production, Georgia and Moldova is about the 20th in the world. In terms of wine export, Moldova is number 12, something like this. Is it right?
Yeah, it's a number. It's 19th. It's 19th in the world.
In terms of wine production.
Yeah, in terms of the wine production. Yeah.
In terms of wine export, number 12. Moldova number 12 is very strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the time is over. We have to finish. Thank you very much, Parascovia, to join us. Thank you very much, Irakli, for joining us. And thank you very much to the two Korean speakers. And thank you very much to all of you. We hope that we can travel to Georgia and Moldova as soon as possible.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Next May.
Yeah.
Next, yeah.
Stay healthy and safe.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Shannon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.